What's up, my channel? It's your friendly neighborhood sassy blonde writer coming at you with another writing video. I know. Nobody likes grammar lessons, but didn't my tips in the last one really help you out? So do you really mind another one? That's right, today we are talking about parallel structure and how using it can help clean up and polish your writing. So this inspiration for this video comes from my high school English teacher. When I was a kiddo in high school, she taught me this trick, and let me tell you, I think it's probably one of the only grammar things I remember from school, and it is probably one of the tricks I used the most from that class. I used it almost every day, and I still use it to this day for everything. It comes up so much, and it's really handy. It really just gives your writing that extra little oomph to make it look super polished and professional. So that's gonna be what we're talking about today. Before we dive in, I would just like to say, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and I would hate for you to miss them, so make sure you ring that bell. Now, the formal definition of parallel structure is as follows. Parallel structure is a balance within one or more sentences of similar phrases or clauses that have the same grammatical structure. The application of parallelism affects readability and may make text easier to read and process. It's about using the same pattern of words. So when you use it, it shows that two or more ideas have the same level of importance. Usually it comes up when you're making lists. So this can happen at the word, phrase, or clause level. The usual way to join parallel structure is with the use of conjunctions like and or. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about parallel structure in words and phrases. Parallel structure is one of those things that's a lot easier to spot and learn through example than it is to explain what it is. Like when I was reading that definition of it, you're probably scratching your head like, what? So let's use an example for words and phrases. Parallel structure, for example, with the ing form of words. So parallel structure would be, Mary likes singing, dancing, and acting on stage. So you notice each one of those verbs had the ing at the end. I didn't change up the form or anything like that. Now here's an example with the infinitive phrases. If you don't know what the infinitive phrase is, it's basically to blank, to dance, to hike, to swim, etc. So with the infinitive phrases, it's going to sound like this. Mary likes to sing, to dance, and to act on stage. So note, you can use the to before all the verbs in a sentence, or you can just use it before the first one. Mary likes to sing, dance, and act on stage. You could do that instead too. That's still an example of parallel structure. The problem comes in when you mix the two forms of the phrases. Mary likes to sing, dance, and act. That sounds weird. That's how you know you don't have parallel structure. Parallel structure is just making sure that every single word has the same word pattern. In a list with verbs, you want to make sure that they all have ing at the end, or they're all in the infinitive phrase, which is to blank. That way, they all look similar, they all look cohesive, and it's not awkward to read. The example for clauses, a parallel structure that begins with clauses must keep with the clauses. So changing to another pattern or changing the voice of the verb, like for active to passive or vice versa, will break the parallelism. And I have sources down below if you want to see more examples. This is not parallel structure. Production manager was asked to write his report quickly, accurately, and in a detailed manner. That's not parallel structure. You may not catch that on the first time. Parallel structure example would be something a little bit more streamlined. Here's an example of the same sentence as parallel structure. The production manager was asked to write his report quickly, accurately, and thoroughly. It just sounds a little bit cleaner when you phrase it like that. It's a lot more obvious with the words example, but phrases as well can have parallel structure issues. Now for clauses. So remember, clauses are longer examples, longer than just short little phrases, so make sure you keep an eye out for those. I find the longer the phrase or clause, the harder it is to pick up on. If you read it out loud, you notice that when it's not parallel structure, it sounds a little bit awkward. Not parallel structure. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, that they should not eat too much, and to do some warm-up exercises before the game. So that's a little awkward, but it might not be too glaring. However, notice the parallel structure one sounds a lot cleaner. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, that they should not eat too much, and they should do some warm-up exercises before the game. Or you could also do this parallel structure example. The coach told the players that they should get a lot of sleep, not eat too much, and do some warm-up exercises before the game. I prefer the last one because I think it's a lot less awkward. It's a lot more streamlined. You eliminated some redundancies. Hey, we talked about that last time. So, is it the biggest deal in the world if you don't do parallel structure? No, will not be the end of the world. It's a bit more glaring if you don't have parallel structure in the specific words, like what we talked about with the verb forms of infinitive or the ing. However, it's one of those things where it just takes your writing up a level when you remember to do it. So definitely make sure when you're proofreading and editing, you keep an eye out for it. And when you're writing, try to watch yourself and make sure you use parallel structure, and only don't use it if it's for a special effect. According to Purdue Writing, proofreading strategies to try are skimming your paper and pause at the words and/or. Do you hear a rhythm being repeated? If something is breaking that rhythm or repetition of sound, check to see if it needs to be made parallel. So the parallel structure is really helpful for pretty much all types of writing if you want it to sound more polished. Because remember, rhythm and pattern in your words is what it's all about, really. So keep an eye out for it when you are writing. That's all I got for you today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this quick little grammar lesson on parallel structure. If you want to do further reading, I have linked to my source down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. I know most people don't like a grammar lesson, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my awesome content. And of course, happy writing!